The value of your personal injury case depends and is critical on what is in your medical record. So you want to make sure that you're accurate and comprehensive, ideally, when you're talking to your doctors about the issues and injuries you're having. You do not want to downplay any of your injuries. And of course, you don't want to exaggerate any of your injuries, but do not try to take the age-old athlete approach of trying to walk it off and pretend like it's all okay. Because if you pretend like it's all okay, or you try to walk it off and the information is not in your medical records, the defense and the insurance company on the other side are just looking for excuses to deny your claim anyways. So don't give them the opportunities they're looking for to deny you the compensation that you're owed. So instead, here's some quick tips that you can use to be able to protect yourself in cases. 1, use the Notes app on your phone to list out how the injuries have affected you. Maybe you used to go for a walk every day and you can't do that anymore. Maybe you've got pain and issues in your neck or your lower back as a result of this. Maybe you have trouble sitting for long periods of time and it starts to hurt or ache or sting. Or maybe you've got limited mobility and you can't stretch as far. Maybe you've got trouble reaching down to pick something up, whether it's a pen or a pencil or your grandson or your granddaughter. Look, ultimately, everything that you tell your doctors should be put into your medical records. So you want to try to be as accurate as you possibly can. And look, to the extent that you had any pre-existing issues, make sure that you're honest and accurate with your doctors about anything that you had previously, as well as how much worse it's gotten. The law allows for this. To the extent that you've been made worse from where you were, even if you were not perfect, if you had pre-existing issues and injuries, and that resulted in you getting hurt even more, the other side is still responsible to the extent of the pain, the additional pain and injuries and suffering that they've caused. But the key to this is making sure that your medical records are accurate. So this is why you want to make sure you explain to your doctors, if they ask, any pre-existing issues or injuries you had and how your injuries now or your limitations now are worse. And when you're talking about limitations, you want to remember that it's very rare that somebody can't do something. Usually it just becomes a lot more difficult. Maybe it's a lot more painful. Maybe you don't have the full extent of movement that you used to have, but you've got a lot of it or some of it. And you just want to make sure that you're accurate with your doctors when you're explaining these things so they can put it in your medical records, because the medical records and the treatment you get are going to be used to make your case about exactly how injured you were and the extent of your injuries and what your case is worth. Because again, the defense and the insurance companies are really looking at your medical records to assess the extent of the harm and injuries. So if you underplay it, they're going to look at those medical records and bills and say, look, this person wasn't that injured. This is why it's critical that you also go to all of your doctor's appointments and make sure that if there's follow-ups that you need to go to, that you get to them. And if for some reason somebody forgot to give you the referral you needed to get to, or forgot to call you to get scheduled for the appointment, please take the proactive step in making sure that you protect yourself and your case by making the call, because that is going to make all the difference in your personal injury case. If you have more questions about this, please reach out to me and my team. We're happy to help you.